Trump sides with Musk on an H1B Visa fight. America rose to greatness over the past 150 years because it was a bureaucracy more than anywhere else on the earth. I will fight to my last drop of blood to ensure that remains at the land of freedom and opportunity. President-elect President-elect Musk backs H1 Visa, siding with Donald Trump. Hey, you caught that right there. After the tech billionaire pledged to go to war to defend the program and branded GOP opponents hateful and unrepresentative racist. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that's racist on that side at this point. But for real, those are the disgruntled liberals that left because they didn't like what was going on. They didn't like Obama. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of people that was Democrat forever. They voted for Clinton. They voted for Gore and all that. And Obama came in the mix and I'm like, I think I'm a Republican now. Like, no, you're still a Democrat. You're still liberal. You still have your liberal values. That's why you guys complain about liberal topics, but pretend to be Republicans. While that is the MAGA Doge civil war that erupted over the last 48 hours has now come to a tipping point, with Trump's new techno-libertarian coalition of billionaires taking full aim at his traditional base. Now, I don't know if a lot of them people were his traditional, well, you know what? They were Trump's base. They were Trump's base. But they wasn't George Bush's base. They was mad at George Bush when he appointed people like Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice. They was mad at HW when HW put Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. And the same dude that was mad about that stuff. So I definitely do see it. Hey, listen, right? You guys can go back to your racist ass Democrat Party. You guys can go back to your racist ass Democrat Party. You guys weren't ever supposed to be on that side anyway. Trump's support for the controversial visas in the first sign of his picking sides between the richest and most powerful advisors on one hand and the people who swept him in office on the other hand. Now, the latest, President-elect told the New York Post on Saturday he has always liked the visas. Yeah, Trump was never against immigration. Trump was always against illegal immigration. So if you guys think that all immigration is going to end, I think it was either Trump's father or grandfather migrated to America. Trump grew up with an immigrant in his house. You think he's going to end birthright citizenship? Donald Trump has birthright citizenship. Most of us in America had birthright citizenship in one way or another. Can you track your ancestry back to when can you track your ancestry back to the Revolutionary War? If you can't track your ancestry back to the Revolutionary War, guess what you got, buddy? You got birthright citizenship. You're not one of the original American people, what they call them, sons and daughters of antebellum or whatever. You're not one of those. Most of us are immigrants. Most of us immigrated here after the country was formed. That's how we have our citizenship. Come on, guys. Did you come over on Ellis Island? That was more of a little bit chaos. That was a little bit more of a chaos than just people walking in from Mexico. You know, Texas was a part of Mexico at some point. So, like, for real, I'm in the thoughts, and Trump might be in the same thoughts too. Put the border wall up in between Mexico and Canada. Don't let nobody into the U.S. unless they go through the gate. You come through the gate, we'll give you a visa. You can work. If you work with that visa, you get to stay. You keep paying taxes, you get to stay. You don't want to work, we got some ways to identify you. And if you come through illegally, we know to deport you automatically. Come through a port of entry. I have many H1 visas on my proprieties, he said, of the program for highly skilled foreign workers. I have been a believer in the H1B. I have used it many times. It's a great program. Trump pledged to end the program in 2016. The H1B is neither high skilled nor immigration. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad for the explicit purpose of sustaining for American workers at lower pay, he said. He added, but the H1B I thought was just for school. He added, he was totally committed to eliminating the rampant widespread H1B abuse. So, I'm like in between on this, because this is actually giving me a little bit more context than I had before, right? We don't want to bring people in to work for less than we're willing to work for, right? But we do want to bring people in that are specialized in certain skills. I say just let everybody in. Give them a social security number, well, give them a TIN. If they're willing to work and pay taxes, let them stay. If you don't want to work and pay taxes, you got to go. If you don't want to go and get your documents and you don't want to actually have your ID and everything, if you don't want to go and have an ID and you want to do this and do that, Don't get mad when you get caught up without it and you get sent back home. You just gotta have documents. It's like me. Like I need an ID. If I want to go to the bank, I need an ID. If I want to go into a government office, I need an ID. If I want to do like 90% of the things that I need to do as an adult, I need an ID. Get your ID, get your taxpayer identification number, work a regular wage, pay taxes like a regular person, you know. And then when kids are mad that they don't have no jobs or whatever, most of these kids don't want to work. Most of these kids don't want to work. That's why I was like, I was saying originally when I was talking about the story, there are a lot of hardworking blue-collar Americans. There's a lot of blue-collar Americans with some white-collar skills. But a lot of these blue-collar Americans that have white-collar skills also have felonies on their jacket. As long as they ain't no kid toucher, give them a chance. They ain't messing with no kids. They ain't hurting no women and children. Give them a chance at your company. Do a little psychological evaluation. Ask them the regular questions like you would ask everybody else. Like, we need to ban the box for real. You guys should not be asking people if they're a convicted felon, especially if they're off of parole. If you're not on parole, if you're not on no list, if that list ain't keeping you from getting certain positions or whatever, let these dudes get jobs. You know, Trump wants to sit there and talk about, oh, we got to pardon all the January 6 people because they've been in jail too long. No, you commute their sentences. So you let them out early, kind of like what Biden did with all these people on death row, which was insane. Commute their sentences and let them out early. And if you want to make a blanket thing that helps everybody, helps all the Americans, because, you know, one of the big things for recidivism is a lot of people know they're never going to get that dream job after they're a convicted felon. So they don't go through the routes of going to school, getting certain certifications and stuff, because they're like I want to be a lawyer. I want to study law and become a lawyer at some point. I know I will never, ever, ever in my lifetime will I ever be able to get on the U.S. bar or any state bars, because you have to, it's like a judge of character or whatever. I forget the exact words to it. But they're going to judge your character and they're going to look at so many years of history or whatever. And it's like my current character is impeccable, right? I might not have the best speaking or whatever, but I was thinking about going back to school. Well, actually going to school, because you can't go back to somewhere where you've never been to. But I was thinking about going to school, taking some community college programs on public speaking and English, so I can brush up my English and figure out how to talk a little bit better. But I think this is helping me out. And then I wanted to go to school for law, become a lawyer or whatever. And I started looking into the requirements. I can get on the bar in New Jersey, possibly, but it's still, they're going to judge my character. They're going to be like, oh, well, you had felonies from 2011. Well, that's when I found out I like law. That's when I sat there and I was reading all them law books all the time. And I was like, I actually like reading some of this stuff. And then some of this stuff I hate to read. Like some of these bills and documents and stuff. When it starts getting sick, I can't do this sickness no more. So maybe it's good I'm not a lawyer, because like I'll be sitting there representing a whole bunch of people, bank robbers, drug dealers and everything. And as soon as they're out here, I'm like, oh, you did what? Okay. Bring him in. I'm like, hey, he's guilty. He likes hurting kids. Lock this fucker up. Lock this fucker up. But if you want some unbiased news or whatever, and you want to know about what's going on in politics on a regular basis, consider subscribing to WTFFN, WTF Fake News. WTF stands for Work Till Friday. Get your mind out the gutter. And this one over here, that's our news story playlist or whatever. You can just click that and listen to all the news and get caught up. Stay up to date all the time. Until next time, guys. Peace.